The special was fantastic. That was what I wanted to talk about, then these showed up, which I guess we could talk about both. 2 for 1 deal. Hey guys. Stay tuned for the whole video for the figures. First, thoughts on the special, and there are spoilers if you haven't seen it. I think they did such a good job on the special. They told a new story 30 years later that it still felt like Power Rangers with some more serious moments, which I think they did really well. The complaints about acting and storytelling, I don't understand them. I think they really did a good job. It was still the Power Rangers we remember, but they also managed to have some actual serious and more touching and heartfelt moments while being a little bit darker, but not being so dark that it wasn't really Power Rangers anymore. Like I said in some previous videos, there have been a lot of things that have happened since '93 and present, and instead of creating new plot holes, they actually filled some old ones in, I think. Especially the thing with the proxy power coins. We saw Jason in Beast Morphers, which wasn't that long ago. Rocky and Catherine were both in Dimensions in Danger and Ninja Steel. Kimberly we saw in Power Rangers Turbo, and she did do a cameo in the 2017 movie. The last time we saw Billy was in Power Rangers Zeo, and the last time we saw Aisha was in Power Rangers Season 3. And the last time we saw Zach was in Power Rangers Season 2, not even the whole way through Season 2. So we did have some original cast members that we haven't seen in a while. This may not be a popular opinion, but I think it was kind of nice to focus a little more on Billy and Zach in this episode and Trini's daughter. And it, it was a nice tribute to Trini. Obviously, had the other 3 been present, it would have been a different special. I don't know, I can't say how that would have been, but I liked it the way it was. And also, they left it in a way that Zordon could come back, Jason and Kimberly could come back, if, things change in the future for those actors. Leading up to the special, there were a lot of concerns about how they were going to explain things. One of the things that I gave a theory for was Robo Rita, which then has a lot of people asking, then how is Rita back? But I think the fact that she's a robot kind of implies, at least to me, that they are following the continuity, because otherwise it would just be her more human form, I would think. So to me, that says she got, she's good now, but somehow the evil, I can't quite explain it yet, I haven't seen the show, but somehow her evil was able to take a new form, which is a robot. Obviously, before the special, I didn't know exactly how they were going to explain it, but I knew it had to be something like that, and that is about what happened. Billy, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but it has been out for about a week now. Billy was trying to bring back Zordon, and ended up picking up Rita's evil energy, which came through Zordon's tube, broke out and went into Alpha 8, became Robo Rita. Another thought I had with Robo Rita regarding why she was a robot and not the original American actress who was still around. Zed and Rita, even though they were villains on Power Rangers, they were kind of lovable, right? Trying to think of the best way to explain this. Like, you didn't really hate them as much. They were the bad guys, but they were kind of fun. If it was the original Rita that we remembered from the show, considering what happened with Trini, having her be a robot, I think allowed her to be kind of more evil and not have you hate the Rita that maybe you kind of liked or loved. Hopefully I'm making sense. And it was still the same costume, and Barbara Goodson came back and did a great Rita performance. So it was still familiar enough as the original Rita without being, anyway, I tried. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but I think they did a good job with that. I really do. And I just keep reading comments about how it's corny or cheesy and the writing is no good, and I'm trying to think of like what is Power Rangers comparable, especially today? What is around this like Power Rangers that has such incredible writing? I mean, it is kind of a goofy show.
The purse is right.
It's a sci-fi teenagers in rainbow spandex fighting monsters from space or wherever they came from that season. It's not that serious of a show, but yet they still managed to make a pretty serious episode that was still fun. It's not like so dark that kids couldn't watch it, but it had enough that adult fans could enjoy it too. They had a lot of people to try to please all at once. I think they really did a good job, and I'm trying to think, like, even of the Marvel movies, like, Avengers or Spider-Man. Is that writing honestly that much better? And I know you're gonna say, oh yeah, sure, but is it? What is the standard? What is this being compared to? How could it have been better and still be Power Rangers? They did the 2017 movie. That was a much different movie. People didn't like that. They had planned to do a lot of sequels to that movie, and so many people didn't like it that was the end of it after the first movie. They had Bryan Cranston as Zordon. You may remember him from Malcolm in the Middle or maybe Breaking Bad. Elizabeth Banks was Rita. All the Rangers have gone on to do other things. Some you already knew before the movie and certainly know after. Do a lot of people just not understand what Power Rangers is? Because to me, it seems like a lot of people want the show to be something it never was. I've seen a lot of comments about the CG as well. For, a 55-minute Netflix special, it's incredible that we got a Megazord sequence. They did the individual Zords, it formed the Megazord, it fought on the moon, they did the cockpit. We got an interior and exterior of Pandora's Palace, or Rita's Palace. We got a new command center, interior and exterior again. We saw the juice bar again, which looked great. We got the rad bug. It's crazy how much went into that. If you look at this thing, could that be Jason, Tommy, and Kimberly that she's captured? Maybe that explains why Kat and Rocky come in. So of course that did end up being Tommy, Jason, and Kimberly that got captured and shrunk into action figures by Rita. That's what I assumed, because those were the 3 that weren't returning, so they had to write them out somehow. And how perfect are these for that? I'll put a direct link in the video description if anybody wants. I got the whole set. Oop. It even has articulation. Turn the head, and it includes a little tiny display stand. Not quite the right scale, but you could have them standing like that. Close enough. Of course, I wanted to create that whole machine of Ritas, but there wasn't time. Maybe eventually. I guess I'm wondering why it seems like so many people want Power Rangers to be just so super serious, when at the same time the whole world remembers Mighty Morphin and didn't watch any of the other seasons, some of which were a lot more serious, but then people don't want Mighty Morphin to be corny or cheesy. But that's still the one that everybody wants and keeps going back to, which is the one that everybody loved as kids and remembers, and then they want it to be something that it isn't, and then don't watch the shows that are more like the ones that they want it to be. I don't know. But I thought they did a good job with it. Coming back to the Megazord, I will add, of course, I am more of a practical effects kind of guy. It definitely would have been awesome if they had been able to use both the suit and CG, depending on what shots they were trying to get. Hasbro actually did have the Megazord displayed at Toy Fair in 2019. I assume it went back to Japan. I imagine there was a reason that it was entirely CG for the special, and I could even offer a few theories for why that might have been, but for a 55-minute Netflix special, I can give it a pass. Had this been a big budget movie, I would have expected more from the Megazord scene, at least the look of the Zords if they were CG. This was good enough, though. When they first announced the special, I didn't even think we were gonna see Zords. So at least for me, I would say exceeded expectations. So my Mighty Morphin Blue and Yellow Ranger Remastered figures have arrived, and there's already a thing with these, so I'll give my thoughts on green, red, and pink. Black has been shown, but not up for pre-order yet. Okay. So just knowing the way companies package toys, here's what I think. Looks like Pink Ranger comes with everything you'd imagine. Then there's Green Ranger, who's missing his shield, but he comes with the green candle, which is really cool. Then you've got Red Ranger, who comes with the shield, but no head. So this to me seems like a price point thing. Like, to me that would say maybe in the future they would do a Jason that has the head and no shield. But for now, you get the shield and the armband, which are compatible with the other Rangers. And also a lot of comments about Jason's neck being red, when in a previous video I showed that it was white in the live stream and in the promo shot that they showed in the live stream, so I'm fairly hopeful that it is going to be white like they showed. The new remastered figures come with morphers and hands to properly hold the morphers, which is really cool. This is definitely the best Billy they've done. And the glasses are removable. I wasn't very nice to the last face sculpt of Billy, but this one gets a big thumbs up. And here's a new Trini head, which is also really nice. I thought the first one was really good, but now we have 2 good Trinis with different hairstyles. Billy's helmet is also a lot better than it was the first time, and I'm glad they were able to get the black lines on the belt on this release. Alright, I might actually start to wrap up. We were going to be back with a different video. We're still working on it, so stay tuned for that. We've got a couple things we're working on. Direct links to these in the video description. Alright, gonna end here though. We've got more good stuff coming. Stay tuned. Direct links are in the video description. Thank you guys for watching. Good night.